After finding the references, don't rush to start creating. First, analyze these references to ensure they are utilized to their fullest potential. Deciding where to start analyzing a vast array of references is a challenge for every newbie. Without a standardized process, we might analyze whatever we're seeing, failing to grasp the key characteristics of the character's fur and production focus. Consequently, the final result may not align with the character's temperament, lacking realism. So, we typically follow a process of analyzing references from general to specific. The analysis sequence includes the overview, contour analysis, structure analysis, length analysis, direction analysis, styling analysis, and material analysis. Firstly, we need to have a general overview of the character to help us grasp the main characteristic of fur. This overview provides the most intuitive impression of the character's fur. We can use a few words to describe the character's fur impression. For example, the wolf's fur gives off a soft and somewhat orderly impression. Its leg structure is robust, and the neck fur is relatively long and rich styling. These immediate impressions of fur characteristics serve as the basis for further analysis and should be noted down. Knowing these characteristics of the wolf's fur, we can clearly identify the key areas and the order in which to process them, ensuring the overall direction of production remains on track. Next is contour analysis. Before beginning the analysis, create a new layer and select a solid brush, preferably in a distinct color like blue, red, or green. Here we select blue. Let's start analyzing. Use the shortcut V to draw lines in a straight direction. Contour analysis is primarily summarized using simple geometric shapes. For instance, the body can be a simple quadrilateral, with the back end being slightly narrower. Next, let's look at the hind legs. They resemble irregular hexagons, with the back structure being quite protruding. We need to use different colors to mark the protruding points. And then the neck, we can see its irregular trapezoidal shape with a narrower bottom. For references, it's good to analyze several more images, as the focus here is primarily on capturing the characteristics of the neck. Here, we just need to grasp the characteristics of the neck. Other references are similar. They are all irregular trapezoids. After completing the contour analysis, let's proceed to the front view for further examination. When analyzing, do not paint directly on the original image. Instead, add a new layer to paint. The contour analysis of the front view mainly focuses on the neck and head. When analyzing the head's contour, focus on distinguishing contours based on the turn of the fur. While analyzing the contours, it is necessary to analyze their proportions. You can see that the proportion of the lower head is larger than that of the upper head. Next, analyze the neck's contour, using different colors to differentiate various sections. Currently, the neck's contour resembles an inverted trapezoid. By analyzing multiple references, you will see that this characteristic is consistent. They all have the same shape and proportions. The area below is always the largest, while the top is narrower. This way, when creating, you can focus on this characteristic. The references show that the wolf's contour has a distinct turn, with the most prominent point near the outer corner of the mouth. This characteristic is similar in the front view contours of wolves, tigers, and other felines. If you don't pay attention to these turns and protruding points, it's easy to make the front view contour too round, significantly reducing the character's realism. So, we mark the most protruding point to remind us to emphasize this characteristic during production. That's all for the analysis of the head contour. Let's rename the layer and mark the content for analysis. We can now begin analyzing the structure of the hair. The structure mainly involves the concavities and convexities of hair and the shapes formed by the hair. The hair structure analysis mainly involves analyzing areas with distinct structures. The primary reference shows that the most distinct structures are in the neck, followed by the legs. There is a depression structure below the neck, which is primarily due to the length, and the hair above is long, which we can mark here. We can analyze other references as well. And through analysis and observation, we will see that this characteristic is consistent. Next are the legs. Due to the muscle shapes, there is a depression in the middle of the thigh, with bulging muscles on either side. When analyzing the structure, only the obvious characteristics need to be marked. Then the calf. Since the hair is relatively short and the bones are obvious, the structure is also quite clear. The main focus here is to mark the positions of the leg structures. If you're working on a different character, the approach remains the same. Therefore, when analyzing the structure, just mark out the key points. During marking, it's essential to differentiate between concave and convex points. Marking both indiscriminately would lead to confusion and make it difficult to distinguish. We only need to mark the convex points. That's all for leg structure. Moving on to the head, the structure is also quite clear. In the side view, the cheekbones are protruding, and there's a noticeable depression below them, which can be marked. Additionally, there's a depression behind the eyes, visible both in front and side views, which can also be marked. In the front view, you'll notice a structure below the cheeks, visible in the side view as well. To facilitate observation, you can use the same color for marking identical parts in different views. Finally, let's analyze the structure in the front view. The neck hair exhibits structural variation, with a slight protrusion in the middle and slight narrowing on the sides. There's a depression in the middle of the chest contour, with protrusions on either side. Next is the analysis of lengths. Length analysis is primarily done by marking with arrows. When marking, it's important to pay attention to the direction of the arrows. whether they go from short to long or from long to short. Here, we'll use the direction from short to long. Once confirmed, mark the analysis following the direction of the arrows. From the head to the neck, the hair transition is from short to long. For the body, the length of the back hair is short, while the abdominal hair is long. The hair in the front of the abdomen should be longer, while the hair at the back should be shorter. Hair on the limbs is shorter, with the hair becoming shorter towards the paws. While the tail hair is relatively long. Next, let's observe from other views. In the front view, there's a change in length, with the neck being the longest, followed by the hair getting shorter towards the chest, and then the legs. Overall, it gradually shortens from top to bottom. That's all for the length analysis.